the first tweet is, it also has a video, so I've got it here. So let's zoom out a little. So this compared, apparently Elon Musk and Zohran Mamdani did the same gesture. So would you care to see that gesture?
Sure.
In video?
That's not, but that's not the same gesture.
This makes it so much more clear that Musk was actually doing a Nazi salute, because Mamdani was doing the thing that Musk was claiming to have been doing, but it does not look anything like a Nazi salute. So, yeah. Musk is a Nazi. Confirmed. Thank you. So, that's that one. And yeah, that's what the chats are saying too. So, like, thanks for, or the chats, the replies. Thanks for making it more clear Elon is a Nazi. Thank you for clarifying how different the hand gestures were. Yeah, and actually, like, drawing it out for them. Fun times. Now I need to open my tweets, because I didn't do that in advance this time for some reason.
All right, kids, can you tell the difference? A wave, a literal Nazi. Yeah.
Ah, oh, that's... Sorry, I'm still figuring this Linux thing out. Oh, there we go. Oh, no, there we don't go, because there's still words over there. There we go. Answers in Genesis says, an all-powerful God has no problem getting a distant starlight to Earth. So, if you'll recall from when I talked about when I was a young Earth creationist, one of the things that I bring up regularly is how... oh, I got another hat. Thank you for that, right-handed Sith. One of the things that I bring up is how I really enjoy astronomy. And as a young Earth creationist... Oh my god,
are you a Pisces?
Yes. No, I'm actually a Gemini.
Oh my god, I love astronomy too!
Yeah, so fuck off. But because I like astronomy, I knew that there were problems that astronomy posed to the young Earth creation model. Notably, we can see the universe, and that would not be possible if it were 6,000 years old. And I did not find the creationist explanations for it to be satisfying. And so here we have, like, an all-powerful God has no problem getting distant starlight to Earth. Yeah, that is true. But if he did so in a way that makes the universe look like it's 13.8 billion years old when it's actually only 6,000 years old, then God is a liar. So I kind of put the young aspect of my creationism on a shelf and didn't think about it for as long as I could. So, yeah, this is just an example of that. Ark Encounter says, skeptics question the capacity of Noah's Ark. I actually don't. It's not about the capacity itself. It's about, the logistics. It's like, yeah, you can physically fit the animals there with the numbers that AIG says, but you can't care for them. And then they say, but scientific estimates show that the ship was only partially filled. And by scientific, they mean the bullshit that they did to get to 6,000 kinds of animals. Sirs, I have you on my show to talk to.
Yeah, but what am I going to say other than you don't even have the fucking gopher wood for this?
Yeah, they don't even know what gopher wood is. And when they built an ark, they used steel beams to reinforce it.
Like, scientific estimates show that the ship was only partially filled. Where are those scientific estimates coming from? Is the first question that I would have here. Like, other than the basic,
it's coming from the Answers Research Journal.
Yeah, but
the
that's not a fucking journal.
Before you publish, they make you agree that your research is going to agree with their statement of faith, which includes things like the literal worldwide flood. Dark Falcon says, I want to see their scientist math. I can show you my math. I did a video where I did the math, because the creationist model is that the vast majority of the rock layers that we see on the planet were formed in the flood. And when you look at that, the vast majority of the rock layers that would have been formed in the flood would have been some form of limestone. Something like 90% of the rocks on the surface of the Earth are limestone. And in order to get the amount of limestone that we see, we need like 11 entire Earth-sized planets filled to the brim with snails just to get the amount of calcite for the amount of organic limestone that we see. And so that was my scientific estimate, which admittedly was not very scientific because I did it by like watching a guy make bricks out of snail shells and then like measuring pixels and guesstimating at how big the brick would have to be, and then being super conservative with my guesstimates because I'm like, okay, well...
So you were using flat Earth math.
Basically. Except, well, I was being super conservative, so like if I was wrong, it's more likely to be wrong in the other direction, and it's actually worse for creationists. So, yeah. Fun times. Okay, so Mohammed Safa said, why when Jesus talks about feeding the poor, it's Christianity, but when a politician talks about feeding the poor, it's socialism? And Brian explains, because Jesus teaches it's a voluntary act of charity. Politicians simply confiscate it through the power of the state and then take a large portion of it while the poor remain poor.
Yeah, but you just described the problem there. Like, you just inserted the problem right there. It's them taking the large portion.
Yeah, because the thing is, when they don't do that, when they actually do programs that help the poor do better. Like, it is an objective fact about reality that if you tax billionaires and then redistribute that wealth in the form of either just giving them cash or doing social programs or whatnot, the world is better. The economy gets better. Because, like, the economy runs on money changing hands. Like, that is, like, the speed of money is a thing in economics, and you want it to be high. Higher speed of money equals better. So that is like, I have $1. I give you $1 to buy an apple. You then give me $1 to buy something that I have. That $1 has now moved twice. And I forget the exact terminology and ratios and what the fuck ever how it works, but essentially the more times $1 changes hands, the better the economy is doing. What billionaires do is they take those dollars and they put it in a big pile and they say mine, and then the dollars never move again.
I know the term, the velocity of $1, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, something.
It's something along the lines of that. So you know what's funny? Disney made an entire cartoon about that where Scrooge McDuck explained that hoarding wealth is bad.
Weird character to have do it, but I seem to remember something about that.
Like, what happened in the thing was they, like, Huey, Louie, and Dewey were talking about his hoard of gold, and they were like, but wait, you have a literal hoard of gold. Why would you say that hoarding is bad? It's like, well, this is actually a small percentage of what I own. Most of what I have is in the economy, doing this, that, like moving around. Like the money is actually out there being fluid because every dollar that stays cooped up in a bank like this doesn't actually help anybody.
So Anslin says, Ruffle Mao, I see a cloud vaguely. Ah, shit. It ran away and my chat's not loading. Sorry, Ruffle Mao. Something about a T-Rex shaped cloud running across the parking garage. But I misread it because I've been replaying Final Fantasy VII recently, so I misread it as just like cloud shaped like a T-Rex. So I'm like, I was picturing a T-Rex with spiky yellow hair and a big sword across its back. And that was fun. And Duct Tape Jake says that's why NVIDIA giving OpenAI $1 billion for the AI and then OpenAI giving NVIDIA $1 billion for their chips means the economy is boosted by $2 billion. So yeah, that is kind of the same thing. The problem is they're all like when it becomes a circle jerk like that, then you get a bubble.
You need the money to have. You need to have the money find its way into the pockets of the citizenry at some point. And the thing is, when all of the money is trading... If it's being
artificially propped up like that, it's like it can make the economy look good for a while, but then 2008 happens. But then 1929 happens. But also, like, just... Jesus said to pay your taxes. The Book of Romans says to obey the authorities. The Bible does not actually lay out how a government is supposed to be organized. I mean, unless you take the Old Testament crap about how the Hebrews are supposed to organize their government and like what laws they're supposed to have, in which case, yikes, don't fucking do that. That's how we get slavery and executions for picking up sticks on the wrong day of the week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't take government advice from the Bible. Taxes are good. And if charity was actually going to fix things, then it would have by now. It has had lots of opportunity to do so. And as it turns out, the billionaires just sit at the top being like, no, we want to keep our billions. And then as we see with Mamdani in New York, so here's the thing. So you remember the pied-à-terre tax?
Yes. The one where if you're if you have an extra property in there, you have to pay extra for it.
Yeah. So asshole buys a penthouse for $250 million, which that's not what most of them cost, but there was one that was used as an example that was actually $250 million. So rich asshole buys a $250 million thing. Mamdani says, oh, that gets a tax now. That's going to be a tax. If you could afford the $250 million for the penthouse, you can afford the tax. But if you're going to be a rich asshole that's like, ugh, I refuse to pay the tax, I am leaving New York City, do you think they're going to just let their apartments sit there vacant? Like, no, they are going to sell it to someone else for $250 million, who is then going to have to pay the tax. And someone, because it's fucking New York, it's where people go to do business, some rich asshole's going to buy it and be like, yeah, no, I don't like the tax, but I got to do business in New York. So, like, taxing rich people is a no-brainer.
And yet, we still have plenty of people who go, no, you don't understand. The politician, they want me to pay my fair share. That's bad. No, don't make me do that. Grr.
I know. Fair share means if you're poor and you're struggling to get by, you're not paying more taxes. Fair share means the rich person who doesn't ever have to think about money in their life now has to pay taxes. They still won't have to think about money. They will still be so obscenely wealthy that they will never have to think about money again if they choose not to. And everybody else will be a little bit better off if they do that. What's the problem?
Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitt, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.